Charlie Murder is an awesome 2D beat 'em up side scroller, probably the best beat 'em up I've ever played and was a total blast. I bought this game for $2, I think, right before the 360 store closed, and I definitely got my money's worth with this title. Where to begin? I guess the art style. One of the things that really sold this title to me, and even my wife thought it looked cool. Everything appears to be hand drawn, and the developers clearly had a passion for their job, as every item, character, enemy, and environment is very detailed, unique, and creative. And the soundtrack to Charlie Murder was pretty cool, with a lot of rock and metal songs, and even had rhythm-based mini-games where you played songs in Charlie's Rock Band with an achievement for completing one with 100% accuracy. Discussing gameplay, it's a beat 'em up, so the controls are pretty simple, but that doesn't mean it's always easy. You have your basic attacks with X to punch and repeated X's for combos, Y for heavy attacks, A to jump, and B to grab, I think. A little fuzzy on that one as I didn't really use it, and LT to block after you unlock that perk. And you have special ability attacks too. I believe this varies by character, and I chose Charlie, who has a scream attack, where he screams into a mic and everyone in close proximity to his face gets affected. You have the basic scream to start off with, which pushes enemies back a little and damages them, with I think 7 additional screams unlockable as the game progresses, which can be found at various tattoo shops scattered around the open world. And you get an achievement for getting every tattoo, although they have no real cosmetic effect on your character. Continuing the discussion about combat, this game took everything as a weapon if you're holding it right to another level. It feels like the devs looked at Dead Rising and said, let's make it more gruesome. If you can hold it in this game, it's a weapon. Baguette, weapon. Car tire, weapon. Your fallen enemy's brains, heads, and arms, weapons with lots of blood splattering everywhere. Maybe 2008 Splatterhouse had some influence here, but Charlie Murder definitely earned its M rating. For such a graphically simple game, it has a lot of gore. And did I mention this game has guns? Lots of guns. From basic pistols and shotguns to flamethrowers and harpoon guns, this game has it all. What do you do when your ammo runs dry? You throw it at your foe and you cause damage to him that way, only to pick it up again with a full magazine. I love this game. You will fight a ton of different enemies and bosses in this game. So many, I don't even think I remember them all. Zombies, minotaurs, zombie construction workers, deranged mermaids, zombie scientists with flamethrowers, giant mutated groundhogs, more zombies, robots. Did I mention zombies? The list goes on, but all the enemy designs were very detailed and unique in their own way. There were also a ton of boss fights, and every boss had a very unique and original design. Although I must say most boss battles were pretty similar in nature, running around in circles while popcorn enemies spawn in, and you wait for your special ability to recharge so you can blast the boss with it while you get in punches when you see an opening. Each fight had its own little twist, like some boss fights having guns handy, or a boss having their own special abilities like being able to spawn electrified ice spikes on the ground, or really tough popcorn bosses. I really enjoyed each one, except the underwater level boss. I skipped that one and took the alternate route. That level was a pain and a half. And that pretty well sums up the levels. You just run around in beat 'em up fashion, destroying enemies as you progress. Although you sometimes come across environmental hazards you can use to your advantage, like pushing an enemy into an acid pit or throwing them into sharp spikes on a wall. Just be careful to not be their victim yourself. Sorry about that. So things don't get stale. Every now and then, mini games get thrown in, like one where you drive a car and roadkill your enemies, or a skateboarding mini game, along with the aforementioned Rock Band mini game and many others. Moving on to the story, it's actually pretty sad. You learn that Charlie had been best friends with Jonathan, I think that was his name, pretty much their entire lives, and had planned on starting a rock band together. but Charlie ended up abandoning their friendship and all their years growing up together for another guitarist and making it big, while Jonathan struggled at small events, wallowing in sadness over the loss of his friend and betrayal. Pause here for a second. This kind of made me consider who was actually the bad guy in the game, Charlie or John? While I'd say John overreacted, making a demonic deal to take over the world and leave it in chaos, and have a famous rock band, and framing Charlie for the murder of innocent lives at one concert, none of this would have happened if Charlie hadn't slammed the door in his best friend's face. Just saying. The game has two endings, spoiler alert, and I got the quote the bad ending. Not sure what's so bad about it since Charlie won the war, hence saving the Earth, but it was a little heart-wrenching to be honest. This title does have a chaos mode, which I'm guessing is a new game plus, but I didn't really have time to mess with it. This game has a pretty cool currency system in which you pick up money found from destroying environmental items, usually small amounts less than $1, picking up money from fallen enemies, usually not much more than $1, completing levels, or, the most lucrative way, selling items. In Charlie Murder, you start out with 50 inventory slots, but you can upgrade it later up to 80, with every item taking up one spot. Throughout your levels, you'll pick up clothes, food, ingredients, and various trinkets, which you can sell at computers scattered around the game and vendor areas. In every level, as you level up, you'll find and be able to use better clothes you found, which offer protection and special abilities, like increasing your speed or adding acid to your punches. And you can sell your old items and use the money for better items or consumables, and the value of items you find increases as the game progresses. And this game has a lot of consumables, from health kits and medicine to coffee and sandwiches. Yes, they're called sandwiches, to CDs and other items. The part I found funny is that Charlie eats every consumable. Health kit, sandwich, or CD, Charlie just gobbles them down. Yum yum. I previously mentioned ingredients. You can use these to brew various alcoholic beverages which offer brief stat boost, but really aren't worth your time. Also available for your usage are relics, various items that just help you in general, like the Dirty Band-Aid, which gives you resistance to bleeding, or an acid blob, which adds acid damage to all thrown weapons. I think you could have two active at the start of the game, but you can unlock perks which give you additional relic slots. Addressing perks, skills, and the level up system, I have no idea how the XP system works. You don't really have a meter or anything, you just randomly level up every now and then. Leveling up gives you 5 skill points to distribute among 4 skills: strength, speed, defense, and anarchy. I never figured out what that last one does, but the rest are self-explanatory. And clothes items are locked behind skill requirements, e.g., a shirt requires you to have 150 strength before you can wear it. The perk system is similar to that of Fallout New Vegas, where you get a perk every other level, and most perks are pretty helpful, such as increasing damage to firearms or allowing you to dual-wield weapons. I think I got to level 24, but don't quote me on that. A final note, there's both a co-op and a PvP mode, neither of which I had anyone to play with, so no comment on them. And that pretty well sums up Charlie Murder. I'm not sure if it's on PlayStation, but it's definitely on Steam if you want to grab it. I would for sure. I give this title a 9.9 out of 10, among the greats. Well, folks, that's all from me today. I'll have to wait until I actually start recording the audio to know, but this might be my longest review to date. We'll see. For anyone new here, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, so feel free to check out some of my other videos if that sounds interesting. Always remember that Jesus loves you, peace, and I'm sorry about the background noise. My neighbors decided to be very loud for a couple minutes, and I had to pause recording. But apologies for that. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Peace.